What is up, guys? My name is Bryce Pruitt. This is the M1 Journey, and welcome to the channel. What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode 18 of the M1 Journey. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know I certainly did. It was an outstanding week in the markets last week. It's easily one of the best I've ever had, if not the best. It really blew me away with all the green days we're having, including today. But I'll cover that a little bit more when I get into the portfolio update. As far as what is new with the channel, I'm actually considering starting up a Facebook page. It's probably something I should have already done. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet, but I'll probably do that at least in the next week, I would think. So check that out. Whenever I probably will send the link out on my Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, be sure to check that out when I get around to doing it. As far as something else, I'm actually considering opening up a Discord server for the channel, if that would be something you guys would be interested in. So if you guys would like me to start a Discord, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. I know I'm not quite to the viewership yet to where there'd probably be a lot of interest for that, or a lot of people who'd even participate, but it's definitely another tool for you guys to communicate with me, for me to talk to you guys. So just yeah, if you have thoughts about that, just put that down in the comments. So yeah, that's about it as far as channel news. If you haven't seen it already, check out Thursday's Let's Discuss video where I talked about DraftKings. I thought it was a great discussion. I had a lot of fun doing it, so check that out. But yeah, we'll get ready to look at the portfolio, but first, of course, I'll do my disclaimer. So guys, if you enjoy this video, drop a like, and if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content. It really means the world to me. And if you have any feedback for me, drop that down in the comments. I enjoy hearing back from you guys as much as possible. But go into my disclaimer. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an expert. I'm just 21 years old trying to figure it out myself. So just please use all your caution and do your own due diligence and research before making any investment decisions. So with that being said, let's get into the portfolio update. All right, guys, the market actually just closed. So you can see we had an excellent day on the market. We're up over 1.18%, which is a really good one-day gain. Most of that was driven by my growth pie, especially Disney, which is my largest holding in this portfolio. So that was really just the start of it, because for the week, we just had an absolutely outstanding week. Really, this might have been one of my best weeks ever. I was up almost 5%, which was over 1,000, which compared to the week prior is very different, because the week prior was not that good of a week. But as you can see here, everything was just really on the upswing. So very encouraged to see that. I can't really pick just one winner of the week, so really it's the whole portfolio. I did have one loser, which this is really just nitpicking, but Pfizer was down 2.76% over the last 7 days, which isn't that big of a deal, but it still was one of the only down stocks I had across all my portfolios. So we'll check out the Roth IRA. It again had also a great week. It was up 2.5%, and today we're up, well, actually we almost broke even. So looks like Southern Company and AT&T and Pepsi were kind of dragging us down, but compared to long-term portfolio, that's okay. The aggressive portfolio again also had an excellent week, up 7.6%. Today though was pretty flat, up less than 0.5%. And then all time on this, since December 14th, we're already up nearly 26%. So really amazing returns there. So as far as my activity for the week, pretty active, especially compared to last week where I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. I got several dividends. It was a nice week for that. TD Bank out of Toronto paid me less than this because that's my foreign tax withholdings, but nice dividend there. AT&T, big payer, almost $14. JP Morgan, almost 5, and Verizon was a little over 8. So this, coupled with my last week's purchases, had a lot of activity, but I used that extra money from the dividends for an extra deposit, which you can see here. That was on February 4th, and I used that money to make 3 purchases: Apple, McDonald's, and Pepsi. Apple is a stock I'll talk about a little more later, but McDonald's and Pepsi had kind of been a little bit on a downswing, especially Pepsi, so I saw an opportunity to scoop up a little bit more. These are companies I'll be holding for a very, very long time, so anytime they kind of come back down a little bit, I'm going to try to buy. So that was kind of my activity in my long-term portfolio. For my Roth IRA, we just had a couple small things. AT&T and the bond market both paid dividends, and then of course I made my bi-weekly deposit, and this is kind of how it shook out. A lot went to my ETFs, of course, and then it actually excluded Microsoft and 3M because both of them were over their allocated slice, so only 8 purchases this week for that, but everything's going pretty smoothly there. And then for my aggressive, didn't have any activity outside of last week's monthly deposit. So that's kind of what was going on this week. I'm gonna kind of spend the rest of the video talking about some dividend stocks that I think you guys should be looking at a little bit more. Some companies that I'm invested with and I'm big fans of, and kind of are at attractive price points, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty short and sweet this week, but kind of want to talk about some dividend stocks. So guys, since I talked about 2 of my favorite growth stocks last week, I thought this week I could talk about 4 of my favorite dividend stocks. These are all 4 companies that I'm invested with, and I expect that you'll see me pour even more money into in the coming weeks. These are 4 companies I am very fond of and I think very highly of. First, of course, is Apple. Apple really needs no introduction. In fact, I've already made a video kind of sharing my thoughts more in depthly about Apple, so feel free to check that out. I'll put a link to that here in this video. But as far as their dividend statistics, Apple right now has a very low yield at just 0.6% and 82 cents per year per share, so low payout, but as the same with the other 3 companies I'll talk about, Apple has been growing their dividend very significantly over the last couple of years. They have an extremely low payout ratio, especially relative to their competitors, so they have plenty of room to grow the dividend for years to come, and there's absolutely no worry about a potential dividend cut with them. So yeah, that's I mean, Apple's pretty basic, I know, so we'll kind of move on from that. The next one is Verizon. Verizon is another company that I'm very fond of. Kind of had a little bit of a downturn over the last month, which I actually think presents an excellent buying opportunity, especially for the long term. They're the highest dividend yielder of the bunch that I'll talk about today at 4.5%, and their annual payout is $2.51 per share. So the reason I'm kind of high on Verizon, especially now, is because we are on the cusp of the 5G revolution, where our infrastructure will switch from 4G to 5G. I think that will be a huge boost for Verizon and their long-term prospects. So of course that's something I'm going to be adamant that people buy now and hold for a long time. The next stock is Waste Management. Waste Management, for those who don't know, is a kind of garbage and recycling company, and of course garbage is probably not going to be going away anytime soon. It's a very safe business no matter if the economy's up, down, or sideways. And of course with the push towards green energy, recycling, definitely sustainability. That again is right up their alley, and I think they'll be around growing their business substantially over the next several years. Their dividend is currently at 1.9%, and their annual payout is $2.18 per share. So Waste Management is a company that I'll be for sure buying more in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. Johnson & Johnson is the last company I'll talk about today. Johnson & Johnson, I'm sure everybody watching has probably 3 to 4 or 5 products that they make in their house at any time. Their product selection is excellent, and even outside of the products they make, their business interests are very wide-ranging. Pharmaceuticals, medical equipment. They're very broad in their initiatives, and I think that will play well for them. They're a very safe company, of course. They're one of the largest healthcare companies out there, and their dividend is kind of in the middle of the ones I've been talking about today at 2.5%, and they have a pretty substantial payout per year at $4.04. So, of course, Johnson & Johnson is one of my favorite healthcare companies, and is another company that I'm going to be investing in for the foreseeable future, both in my long-term portfolio and in my Roth IRA. So like I said, guys, these 4 companies aren't that crazy of picks, but again, they're where they are for a reason. They're all 4 very solid companies from top to bottom. They're going to be around forever, and I think they have very good things on the horizons for all of them. So definitely would be worth looking into if you're not already invested in these companies. They're going to be companies you can really just depend on for a long time. So that's going to kind of do it for this portion. So I'm going to get in my closing statements. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, use my link in the description to sign up on M1 Finance if you're interested in doing so. Now is a great time to get in because they've tripled the referral bonus until February 28th. Right now, if you sign up using my link and make your first deposit, you will get $30 from M1 Finance just for doing so. There's absolutely no obligation, no fees or anything, and they're one of the best in the business. So highly encourage you guys to do that. But that again wraps everything up for me for this update. So I will catch you guys on Thursday in the Let's Discuss video.